Self-care for counselors and staff. The learning objectives for this didactic is what is the need for self-care? We'll discuss about what compassion fatigue is, what burnout is, and what is vicarious trauma. Various warning signs indicating why we need to take care of ourselves. Self-care wheel we'll talk about. And lastly, how to practice self-care. So let's begin with why is self-care important? So first of all, every counselor is a human first. So although our job is to help others deal with their problems or their distress, etc., but we also have our emotions and our thoughts, and they are equally important. So we need to take care of our mental health. When listening or talking with women about violence, it can be very triggering and traumatic. So have to be aware of our emotions and thoughts. We have to keep in mind that while listening or talking to that woman who have experienced violence, and we're talking at length about violence, we may experience some strong reactions or emotions like anger. So we have to keep that in mind, be very careful about it. We may also start re-experiencing our own trauma. So all of this we have to keep in mind, and we have to look out for if we are experiencing something like this. So that is when self-care is very important. So we'll talk about what compassion fatigue, burnout, and vicarious trauma is. So it is broadly under compassion fatigue, which this burnout and vicarious trauma we'll talk about. But before we talk about compassion fatigue, let's talk about a related concept that is known as compassion satisfaction. So as counselors, what we experience is like when we are delivering the service that we are supposed to do, or the work that we are supposed to do, if we do the work well, the kind of pleasure or satisfaction that we get from it, that is known as compassion satisfaction. Now, when we are not being able to get that satisfaction, on the other hand, we are feeling fatigue in the form of maybe burnout or maybe in the form of secondary trauma. That is when we call it that we are experiencing compassion fatigue. So what is burnout? Burnout is like when we are not being able to do our job effectively because we are maybe running out of our own resources. We are feeling hopeless and helpless, and we have difficulty in carrying out our own jobs. Other one is the secondary trauma. So it is a consequence of maybe a direct or indirect exposure. So of two people who have experienced and or reading or watching material about such cases. So basically, if I am talking to a woman who have experienced violence, or I am reading something about it and I get triggered about that kind of a violence, so that can trigger my past trauma, or it can make me feel threatened and fearful, even though I don't have a similar trauma. But still, listening to that or an indirect exposure of it kind of triggers me and makes me feel threatened. That is also known as vicarious trauma. So this together makes up the compassion fatigue, which the clinicians or mental health professionals or counselors experience a lot in their practice. So let's talk about what are the warning signs, that is, signs that indicate that we need to take care of ourselves. Now, what are the physical signs? We'll talk about first the physical signs, then we'll talk about psychological signs, and then social signs. Now, the physical signs are, some of them are, first, difficulty to fall asleep. So sleep getting disturbed, disrupted sleep. So even though I get to sleep or fall asleep, my sleep is disrupted. That is, I get nightmares, or that is bad dreams, scary dreams, feeling very restless in the sleep. Early morning wakefulness, maybe I'm not being able to complete my 5 hours or 6 hours of sleep. Rather, I'm waking up in like 3.5 hours, and then I can't go back to sleep. Feeling very lethargic or exhausted, frequent body pain, headaches, aches, etc. Now, drinking alcohol or smoking or abusing other substances to cope with the difficulty that I'm facing. No physical or leisurely activities, maybe something that we would engage earlier in, and we are not engaging in that anymore. Or poor appetite or complete lack of interest to eat, or eating just because we need to sustain ourselves or just to eat. That's why we are eating. There's no interest in it. What are the psychological signs we'll talk about? Number one, feeling unable to cope or afraid nearly all the time. Self doubt, because I think that I am not being able to do my work effectively. So, constantly having a sense of failure and self doubt. If we have frequent anger outbursts, if we are irritable for most time of the day, which was not our usual nature, maybe decreased interest and satisfaction in things that were very interesting to me earlier, maybe listening to music, dancing, painting, gardening, cooking, etc. What something that I enjoyed earlier, I am gradually losing interest or satisfaction in those things. Totally being engaged in the thoughts related to that fear or threat, etc. That's in your mind, constantly ruminating over it. Some of the social signs of the need to take care of ourselves. Number one, isolated or avoiding connections with colleagues. So maybe earlier uh, you would go to have lunch with your colleague, or you would have tea or coffee breaks with your colleague, and you're gradually cutting that. You're not going, you're not connecting with your colleagues. Earlier, you would probably discuss things with your colleague. You're not doing that. Second is cutting off from friends and family. So maybe not going for any family function, not receiving calls, not talking to people, not replying to messages, like gradually cutting off. And also avoiding or dreading any social activity. So maybe there's an invitation for a birthday party later in the evening. But since morning, the first thought that I get in the morning after I wake up is, oh, I have to again go for that party. I don't want to go for it. Okay. So, like dreading that, being so exhausted that mentally and physically that I dread going to social activity, which probably earlier I really looked forward to. Now we'll talk about the self-care wheel. So our self is not just about our social self or our physical self or our professional self, etc. Rather, it's a combination of our different self. That is our physical self, social self. So the connection, social connections that we have, a professional self. That is the work that we do, our workplace, the kind of connections I have at my workplace. My physical self, what are the things I like doing physically, to or how am I physically fit, unfit, etc. Or do I have a lot of physical difficulties? All of that is part of my self. Emotional self, am I having a lot of mood swings? Am I feeling very irritable these days? That is part of myself. So our self is comprises of all of these that we can see in the self-care wheel. And we have to try to, when we are talking about taking self-care, we need to strike a balance between all these six domains, instead of just taking care of my social self, maybe, or maybe just my physical self, or maybe just my spiritual self. Rather, we have to give equal importance, more or less, to each of these domains of the self, and keep a balance between all these domains. So we have to regularly engage in activities that represents each of these self. That will help us in our well-being and enhancing our mental health. So for that, for taking care of ourselves, we can practice a lot of exercises. We can engage in various types of techniques and strategies that works best for us, and that we need to brainstorm and find out what works the best for us. We'll here talk about just one technique that is known as the breathe technique. Breathe technique is, again, breathe is like is an acronym where it's a short form where each alphabet stands for a particular task. That is, B stands for breathing, that is breathing in and out in a like deep breathing in a very mindful way. Reaching out to people, that is connecting to people. If I'm having difficulty talking about it, discussing it with my colleagues, with my friends, family, etc. Eating well, very important. Accept imperfections. Maybe I'm not being able to do the job pretty well, or I'm not being able to deliver my services the best, which I think I can, but I'm not being able to. I'm failing at something. It's okay. We have to accept imperfections. It was not possible that we'll be perfect at every task that we take up and we will succeed in everything. Take time out. If you feel very fatigued, exhausted, then take time out. If you think that your own trauma is getting triggered or you are feeling threatened, because of a particular interaction with a woman who's experienced violence, then maybe take time out from that session. From you can hand it over to somebody else because it's triggering you to such an extent, or maybe take a day leave, day off, or maybe a week off, so that you give some time to yourself. Sleep hygiene, very important, where we need to ensure that we have good sleep, because we will not be able to work well if the work and rest balance is not proper. And lastly, engaging in exercises. So, some physical exercises, some mental exercises is extremely important, and that will help us strike a balance between all the domains of our self care wheel. And that is how we may be able to take care of ourselves. Thank you.